right, we're getting the calls ready for me and the one and only Bill O'Reilly. 2 points we can chew on a little bit as they tee them up for you. The first one will be, why don't you applaud McConnell being with a president of the other party, touting work that will actually help not just Kentucky, where McConnell's from, but states all across the country, red and blue, actually more red than blue, with infrastructure that's sorely needed in this country?
Well, I believe that infrastructure is needed, and if it was just standalone bill, I would have voted for it. But this insane spending by the federal government is hurting all of us, as I explained last segment. McConnell's got to go. He's too old. He's a hack. He's not looking out for the folks. I can get into that very specifically, but we don't have time. But maybe next week. You asked me about Kate's Law that I drew up. McConnell single-handedly killed it. That was a Kate Steinle murder out in San Francisco. He's got to go. He basically a swamp creature. And look, Republicans don't want the swamp.
He got you more judges than anybody in Republican leadership ever has. So his ability to play the game, he may be a master of the dark arts, but he's played very much to the party's advantage.
He's a chess player, but he just empowered Joe Biden to spend more money.
Well, but let's just talk about spending for 1 second, because my New Year's resolution is to be more like you in this no spin zone that we're creating.
Oh, God.
Here. When you look at Trump's spending, he was well over $7.5 billion. Now, I'll tell you what, though. Here's why it's not fair, and it's not fair to Biden. The pandemic is an X factor. And the spending that Trump started to help the pandemic that everybody said they wanted, except maybe like Joe Manchin and a couple of people on the right, was started by Trump, continued by Biden. Now, I really don't think it's fair to hold that spending against either of them, but the numbers are the numbers. And Trump is ahead of Obama. He's ahead of Bush. He's certainly ahead of Reagan, who he always says he's better than, when it comes to spending. He was almost at $8 trillion in terms of what he signed as legislation and executive action, including money that he said was for the military that he took to build the wall. So, again, the perception is not always the reality. Dusty's yelling at me. She says she has calls. Look, what do you have for the big bill?
I'm not going to disagree.
You don't have to disagree. It's all right. Go ahead. We'll take the calls.
No, I'm not disagreeing. Trump spent too much money.
All right.
Period.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't want to interrupt you guys. Patricia from Frisco, Texas.
Hey, Patricia, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too, both of you. Chris, this kind of relates to what you're talking about. You say we need to get rid of the two-party system. Let's say we all join the independent party. I am an independent. Wouldn't we eventually find ourselves back on the left and right? Isn't it, human nature? I want to hear what you think. But then I have a follow-up question, too. Should I say it now?
Ask the follow. Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I would like to know from both of you, who are some people on out of the Democrats and Republicans that you see to be good future leaders who, are like the John McCains, who think of, country first, not party first or themselves first.
Bill, you take that one, and I'll back into the rest of Patricia's question.
Thank
you.
Look,
I have to watch, Patricia, Happy New Year to you. I have to watch them all. All right, so the moment I say that somebody is great and I admire them, then the next day they're in the crypto, it's just, that always happens. But I can give you historical people. I think Ronald Reagan was a good president. I think he was a perceptive man on how the federal government should be run and how to deal with our adversaries overseas. I think Abraham Lincoln was the best president that we've ever had. I think James Buchanan, who became before Lincoln, was the worst. And I judge politicians on problem-solving ability. And we don't have a lot of those right now. The one guy that's impressed me is DeSantis of Florida, the governor of Florida. Whether you like his policies or not, this guy can bring it. He can bring it. And he knows what needs to be done in his state. So I'll give you that name.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, And you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.